Hi, and welcome to this week's weekly energy forecast. How are you doing today? Shoot me a little message in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you're feeling. There's so much I have to talk about today because there's such a shift in energy. And if you guys have been feeling turbulent, emotional, upheaval, like feeling like things that you've been working on just seem like they're not getting off the ground, like things are not going to change, I do have some hope for you today. The energy has been really, really rough, and we are coming out of some very intense periods. If you have a chance to watch my monthly energy forecast that I put out in May, going it from May 15th to June 15th, go back and watch it again. There's a lot to go over in that broadcast. And if you're not receiving my monthly energy forecasts, it's like the weekly, but it's kind of like a step up where I go over every single day of the month. And I talk about the timing in terms of your relationships, your career, your relocation, real estate, finance, all of that stuff. Channel those messages, channel what's going on in the universal energy, as well as your personal energy. And you can put it on your calendar and use it as a guide as you go throughout the month. So if you're not subscribed, it's free. Go into the link in this description, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, and make sure you sign up for the list so that you can get my monthly energy forecast, which goes out on the 15th of every month. And you want to subscribe before the 15th because if you miss the 15th, then you're not going to get it in your email. So make sure you do that today. And also make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube so that every time I'm live, if you want to interact with me, if you want to ask questions, you will get an email letting you know that I just went live, and you can come on and interact with us here on Facebook or on YouTube as we go live simultaneously on both platforms every week. If you're new, say hello. Just put a little message in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're hearing this. And let me know if what I am saying is resonating with you. Oh, man. So much going on. I don't even know where to start for this week. So I'm just going to start by talking about our lovely eclipse season that we dealt with, in addition to our Mercury retrograde phase. And today is the day that Mercury retrograde goes direct. So if you really aren't sure about what Mercury retrograde is, you can Google it for a deeper description. But basically, 3 times a year, 3 weeks roughly at a time, the planet Mercury appears to be going backward in our solar system in reverse, but it's really not. It's just an optical illusion. However, it's kind of like when you're passing a car on the highway and it seems like they're going in reverse, but really they're going forward. It's kind of like that optical illusion. What that does with Mercury is it causes things to go a little haywire. So, mostly with technology, electronics, communication, if you have a business where you're dealing with clients, you'll see a lot of people returning back that you haven't talked to in a while. Or if you don't have a business where you're dealing with clients, you're going to see people from your past resurfacing, showing up, old friends, maybe exes, people that you haven't spoken to in 20, 30 years showing up. It's a great time to have basically reunions. It's a great time to see old friends. Not a good time to start anything new because we can't see clearly during that Mercury retrograde period. So if you just tuned in, I see a bunch of people on the stream. Make sure you say hi. I'd love to say hello to you and see who's on here to just connect with you and make sure you guys are doing okay. So today is the day that Mercury actually stations direct. So everyone's like, woohoo, Mercury's not in retrograde anymore. We could start moving forward on our projects, our plans, all other things. So if you've tried to actually plan things in the last 2 weeks, you would have seen that the plans kind of went awry. And if you know the rules of the grade is what I call it, then you could kind of work around it and not get so frustrated when things kind of do what they do normally during this period of time. Hi, Kathy. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. Awesome. Let me know if you're resonating with what we're talking about. So a lot of people look at the retrograde calendar and say, okay, well, Mercury is direct now. I can just start doing everything I want to do. No, it kind of is like you're driving and you're braking very fast. Okay. So you need time to kind of ease out of the retrograde in what we call the shadow period into the everything where everything's kind of moving smoothly. So yes, we're in the day when things are starting to go direct, but we're in that halt period where it's the 3 days moving into the retrograde and the 3 days coming out of the retrograde where things are what we call the red days. And those are the days where things are at their craziest part. So you have to look at the leading days and the lead out days. So yes, today is a day where things are starting to move ahead. You're going to see them trickling forward. That's a good thing, but I would wait about another 5 days before you really get into planning your summer or making plans with hotels or travel or anything where that's concerned. Because you're still going to have a couple hiccups. Last weekend, you would have seen a lot of hiccups of plans that you had last weekend were all over the place. So a lot of information changing also. So I want to talk to you about another really important aspect that we have coming up. And this is kind of a little more serious of an aspect. And this is from my own channeled energy. So I'm going to drop down the audio and kind of talk to you about this period of time. It's like we talked about all of the trauma, right? All the people who've experienced childhood wounds, which at some point, a lot of things moving in another direction, right? So, oh, Leah's on here. I just want to address it. Yeah, my ADD is kind of like, ooh, somebody commented. Let me see. Let me go off my train of thought. Makes me a good medium, but doesn't make me pay attention very well. Leah, hi, Marissa. Mercury RX was all about revisiting lessons on love, romance, relationship lessons from my past. It's been a roller coaster. Yes. Yes, because we had that Taurus new moon too, all about love as well, and the eclipse happening. And love, in a sense, and this is what I'm kind of getting into, is those wounds are coming up to be healed. So usually when you will attract something into your life, you might attract kind of like water seeks its own level. You're going to probably attract things that also are, people who also have similar situations or wounds. And it's not about like, oh, I have to attract the healthiest person. It's more about, is that person doing the personal work that they need to do as well as you? And so it could be a bumpy ride, but if two people are growing in the same direction, then usually out of that adversity could come a really blossoming, beautiful situation. So this is where when wounds come up that are unhealed is where most people, if they're not awake to that, to what they're dealing with inside, they're going to have, split up, have divorces, or just leave a relationship. I'm not saying there aren't situations during these eclipses where people have to leave situations because the other person isn't growing. That happens too. But a lot of times, especially in the last 20 years, people aren't sticking around in their relationships because things are getting too uncomfortable and no one knows how to fix these patterns. No one knows how to fix these dramas that are going on inside, or the traumas, right? So a lot of times you might decide, oh, well, that happiness is outside of me. I'll get rid of the one bad situation and kind of get into the solution is finding someone else, finding a different relationship. And usually you're going to attract a lot of those similar patterns, or you might attract opposite patterns, but it still connects with your childhood wounds or emotional wounds that you've experienced. A lot of times, and I know this is kind of weird, but people are like, yeah, that person married their mother or married their father, that what they were like. But then that person gets divorced and they're like, oh, the new relationship is completely opposite of the last one. And it turns out that people are like, oh, well, that person's just like your father, not like your mother. So it's kind of like, if you have those imprints on you, those holograms of energy, you're still going to be wanting to subconsciously resolve those issues, those wounds that weren't resolved back then, and you're not even aware of it. So you're trying to subconsciously resolve these things in situations that resemble the type of energetic environment where they weren't resolved. No, I'm not saying this has to happen, within a parent dynamic. This could have been, hey, your first boyfriend, maybe they left you for another person, or they broke up with you in, like, in middle school, high school, for somebody, more popular, or for somebody, that had some other sort of characteristics. And you may be playing that out in your other relationships, always attracting someone that was just like that person who really just couldn't commit to anyone. Um, to have that person in a similar characteristic actually validate what wasn't resolved within you. So if I'm getting too deep, just let me know. If this is making sense to you, just let me know. If you need clarification on what I'm saying, just let me know. But these are part of the energy patterns that we play out in relationships. And in the last month and a half, last 6 weeks, these eclipses were really hitting us in the areas of love and romance, where it caused us to kind of say, hey, I don't want to live out these patterns anymore the way I'm living them out. I need to make a change. And either that involves me leaving my relationship, or it involves me setting those limits and boundaries, saying, hey, this is the type of relationship I want in the future. Are you on board with that? Okay, thanks, Leah. Usually when people aren't commenting, I'm like, okay, either they're really listening, or it's like confusing them. So I'm glad that that makes sense for you. The other thing is I wanted to talk about when I came on today, is the period of time that we're in is truth finding and truth telling. And the truth will be revealed, okay, on many levels. Secrets are coming out. Okay, so these are hard truths that maybe, and they have to do with your internal world, how you were raised, different things. The truth will be revealed about people that have been in your life for a very long time. And there's things you didn't know. There's a lot of people right now finding out that maybe they have, in their ancestry, different things coming out of the blue, like, oh, I'm related to this person. Oh, there's a child out there that's connected to me. Like, many different things are being revealed, because the universe is moving at such a rapid rate into a different level of consciousness. Different truths have to be revealed so they can be accepted, and we're out of that fantasy world, and you can kind of move forward with your life. As much as it hurts to have these truths revealed on a subconscious level, whatever truth needs to be revealed to you, um, these were things that were intuitively firing off in your subconscious that you probably were aware of at some level, that really couldn't really raise to the consciousness, because there was a period of about like 15 years of distraction. Like, people were able to distract themselves with money, love, romance, like in that period of instant gratification and new technology over the past 15 years. But now the focus is turning inward, and traumas are coming up, emotional wounds are coming up to be healed, and the truth about you and your life is going to be brought to the surface. So these don't have to be huge dramas. They could be small truths. They could be a truth that you just haven't admitted to yourself. Um, hey, I want this type of life, or hey, I'm an attorney, but I didn't ever want to do that, right? I really always wanted to be a doctor. I really didn't ever want to work a 9 to 5 job, but I felt compelled, like I had to do that because my family wanted me to. Like, there's a truth that needs to come up in you. And that doesn't only mean you, truth will be revealed from people around you as well. So I want you to take a look for that this week. What truths need to be revealed? And these are good things so that they could come up and be healed. Because, like I said, on a subconscious level, you're very aware of them. So inner truths are going to be revealed, as well as external truths about others that are connected to your life. And these truths really are like, well, I don't want to know that. Like, is this going to cause a lot of pain? No, it's actually going to all make sense. And you're going to say, okay, well, I'm glad I know these truths about these people in my life. And now I have to accept it, figure out how to integrate it, and move forward. So I just want to tell you that that's what's coming. And then you'll be able to move forward on your summer plans from the 15th of June, if you want to be safe on, without any delays and confusion, all that kind of stuff. So I would wait at least 5 days to make all your summer plans as far as the way the Mercury retrograde is going. And if you're just signing in, I'm going to be signing off soon. So make sure that you go and watch the replay of this energy forecast. Make sure you share it with some friends. And on the lounge tomorrow night, we do a interview show that is streamed live, just like you're watching here on YouTube and Facebook. And tomorrow night we have somebody coming on talking about mystical and spiritually transformative experiences. And just as we were talking about things coming to light, we are going to be talking about if you think you are in a narcissistic relationship, you need to watch this show. Or if you have experienced narcissism in relationships, this is going to tell you if you are experiencing it or if you're not. So make sure you come on tomorrow. We have the author of God Came to My Garage Sale talking about her spiritually transformative experience. And I can't wait to bring this to you. I just have to give you a little more information here. 1 second, just pulling this up. So yes. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. If you don't tune in, then you can watch the replay. But it's a lounge. We're going to be interviewing Dr. Marnie Hill Forteraro, and she is an award-winning and celebrated author of God Came to My Garage Sale. So if you're interested in learning about your own spiritually transformative experiences, or interested in hearing if you have been in a narcissistic relationship or are dealing with that, to be able to transform your life, this is a show for you to watch. So like I said, if you're just tuning in, make sure that you jump in to the description of this video and sign up for our monthly energy forecast, where I go over every day of the month, and you must be on our email list to get that delivered to you on the 15th of every month. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the lounge, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're right here on YouTube and on Facebook. And again, make sure to like and subscribe so that you are getting our notifications. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Thursday, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.